Well, the Fitness Plus is interesting, and it will get a lot of the attention because of the run-up in Peloton stock. And many people think that Apple might take a look at buying Peloton, although the price is pretty high right now as a device, in terms of the bike. I think it's, I don't know if they'll be a big player here. It's a very small little screen to work on, and people do like their devices. But it's a move into this area and an area of interest. I don't think they're going to put Peloton or the others out of business by any stretch of the imagination with this. But it's an interesting move. I do think, as John said, this idea of this bundle, Scott Galloway on our podcast Pivot calls it a rundle, is the future of all these things, of bundling these subscription services for which this business has gotten bigger and bigger. Services is becoming a more important part of Apple's future as people don't recycle devices as quickly. And so it is, you're right, it hits at Spotify. It's the idea of going with Apple just the way you might go with Amazon. And you're going to see this more and more from these companies in the future. Amazon will maybe give you healthcare and your delivery and this and stuff because they're trusted brands. And so that to me is they've been pretty slow to it, but the idea of bundling services is inevitable, and that's where the real money will be made.
Do you think that, Kara, some of the companies that have called out Apple for anti-competitive behavior, including Spotify after this bundling announcement and Epic Games, we know about that Epic fight, do you think that they're going to make any real traction either with the regulators or the court of public opinion in their fight against Apple?
Yes, indeed. I think the Apple has got to face it. Apple does tend to behave a little bit more like adults when these things happen, and they're not going to, dig their feet in like a Facebook or others might. I do think they have to face these issues and sort of start to have really important discussions with their important app developers. And some of them, it's hard to get around. They're in a competitive business against Spotify. A lot of competition, which sort of brings the attention of regulators around antitrust. And so I think they've got to thread this needle really carefully. It's a really important one where they are a provider of services and at the same time they're a platform. And so they definitely have attracted attention. And certain people like Tim Sweeney of Epic and the guys from Basecamp who were complaining, I think that's only going to grow and people aren't going to knuckle under to these prices. So they're going to have to do something or they'll be acted upon by the government eventually.
John, not huge action by the close in Apple stock today, perhaps to be expected, given this wasn't a major product announcement. When do we expect the next iPhone announcement?
Well, I expect that will come next month in October. And, Apple hinted that there will be a delayed delivery of these versus what we normally see in a calendar year. I would still expect to see them on shelves by early November. So you might miss the back end of their fiscal Q4, but you still get the full holiday quarter most likely. What's not clear is what kind of supply the phones will be in. I guess to some degree we'll get a sense for consumer demand for Apple technology based on what happens with these watches and iPad Airs that they just announced today.